Here we go. What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Happy Monday to everybody. New week, new breed of content, baby. This time we're jumping into and switching gears. We're jumping into Redraft. Who is pick number one for the 2023 season? And I don't think we've had a discussion where we could say there's four players in a while, man. Like, this is new territory in at least the last 5 years where we can debate four possibilities for the number one overall pick in fantasy football Redraft. We got Christian McCaffrey. This is consensus ranking as we sit early in May. Yes, it will change, but consensus as we sit today is CMC number one, JJ number two, Austin Ekeler number three, and Jonathan Taylor sits as number four in the consensus ADP ranks. And I mean, like I said, half PPR leagues were going in this direction, but we could really, truly debate who is number one. I can make a case for all four of these gentlemen to be the number one overall pick, and we'll start with Christian McCaffrey. I'm wasting no time today. I'm excited. CMC, he found his new life with these 49ers, got traded. We all know this. Who is the quarterback in 2023? That's the question mark. We don't know. Is it Brock Purdy's obviously injured? Is it Trey Lance? Or is it going to be Sam Darnold? Who is the guy behind center to support this offense? And if it is Sam Darnold, that kind of worries me just a little bit. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I understand, the Trey Lance injury. He looked okay in this offense. Now we're hearing rumblings and rumors that, they're kind of not favoring Trey Lance right now. Kyle Shanahan and company kind of trying to shop his services a little bit, see what's out there on the open market. But, I mean, the amount of injuries they sustained at the quarterback position, they're going to carry at least three. But, I mean, who is going to be the guy? If it's Trey Lance, I got no problems. The Trey Lance is too good to be sitting on the bench over a Sam Darnold, man. Come on, we got to understand that. But the statistical achievement, we know how good CMC was. Running back 2 last year, 313.9 points. Won't rhyme off the stats. They're right there on the screen for you. But, I mean, more splits with Eli Mitchell this year. Is it a possibility? That's a concern, and it's a valid concern. Is it enough to say that it's going to, hamper CMC? No, probably not. But we could see a 70-30 split as the season does wear on with Eli Mitchell, even though there is a caveat to say that, Eli does, spend some time in the medical room himself. He is, dealt with some injuries throughout his short NFL career already. But, I mean, he will likely have a role in this offense. We know what Kyle Shanahan does. He likes to rotate his running backs, and he will continue once again this season. Does that stop CMC from having a massive workload? 244 attempts and 85 receptions. That's a lot of volume for this running back this past year. Played his first full 17 game slate in the last 3 years due to injuries. So it was refreshing to see a CMC back on the field full time. Does this mean the injuries could creep up once again for CMC because of the sheer volume of the workload? It's possible. This is part of his history, having the injuries post a massive amount of volume and workload. Same offensive pieces in San Fran once again. Not much has changed on the offensive side. Just who is going to be the quarterback throwing the ball? That's the biggest problem we don't know right now. That should get ironed out through training camp and the preseason as we move forward. So we will get a better picture of where CMC's value is truly going to rest and lie. But, I mean, okay, they are going to be one of the top teams in the NFC once again. There's no question. That defense is still very stout. The offense is going to move through CMC, likely with Eli Mitchell, Deebo Samuel. They're going to be lights out, very good. When it comes to boom consistency rates, this is any player hitting over 10 points, half PPR per week. 88.2%, man. You got to talk boom rates. He was booming for your team all over the place last year. So, I mean, that's why a lot of people got CMC at number one right now. And, I mean, it's very hard to argue. Number 2, consensus, Justin Jefferson, JJ. And, I mean, he's damn good. He's one of the top wide receivers, the best wide receiver in the NFL. I don't think I can argue it anymore. I had him as my best wide receiver last year as well. But, I mean, is this the final year in Minnesota as we know it for this offense, how they are put together? Kirk Cousins, could he be released? Dalvin Cook, could he be traded? There was lots of rumors and rumblings about that this offseason. They kind of feel like they're teetering on that, do we want to move forward with this club as is, or do we want to, revamp it a little bit? I don't think they necessarily got to go into full rebuild mode, but they can revamp it very quickly with adding and removing certain pieces. Could not trade Dalvin Cook, obviously, due to that contract, and Kirk Cousins. We'll see what's going to happen in the future with Cousins. They lost Adam Thielen, but they added a Jordan Addison to this offense. Gorgeous move. I'm a big fan of Adam Thielen anyway, always have been. Great route runner, great hands. but you add a guy like Jordan Addison who can separate for days, man. You guys are going to understand once he's on the field, especially not being the number one guy. Jordan Addison is going to roam free all over this field. This is part of my endorsement for Jordan Addison as a redraft player this year as well. But, I mean, he's going to help JJ in every respect, and it's not even that JJ needed the help. This is only going to assist that much more with single coverages and then understanding where the target share is going to go. Jordan Addison was an absolute gem of a get in this NFL draft for this offense and Justin Jefferson. JJ went from number 4 to number 1 wide receiver year over year. Not shocking whatsoever, and, I mean, he's doing it with a guy like Kirk Cousins, who isn't necessarily an elite passer in the NFL, but, I mean, 184 targets this past season from Kirk Cousins and this offense. Did he peak? I mean, that's kind of the question mark I got. When we talk about players who have hit the top end totals, like a JJ, 128 receptions, 1809 in yards, did he peak? I mean, that's the point. 184 targets. Is that the top end? Is that the peak? Can it increase? With players like TJ Hawkinson, with Jordan Addison now in the mix, KJ Osborne might have a little bit more, offensive prowess in this offense. Could we see this number go down? Absolutely. Will this aid in a Justin Jefferson to score more touchdowns? It is also extremely very possible. JJ's boom rate was a little bit shocking. I thought it was a lot better than this. 70.6 in consistency boom rate. And I mean, you can't say that that's a bad boom rate, but I mean, you thought it would have been higher. He had some stinkers early on, which definitely dropped the percentage score in this respect. But when you're talking about Justin Jefferson, he is truly the only wide receiver in the league right now that we can consider as the number 1 overall pick in redrafts. And I mean, I could definitely make a big case for that one as well. Number 3 consensus is Austin Ekeler, LA Chargers, bolt up. He wants to bolt out, man. Apparently, he wants a new contract. Is there bad blood? He requested a trade this offseason, did not get his wish. Chargers kept him at bay, and they want to keep his services. And I completely understand. You need a running back in this offense to make it run and make it work. A lot of injuries were dealt with these Chargers wide receiver room last year, hence why the uplifted statistics for an Austin Ekeler. 107 receptions last year, career high. He basically hit career highs in every statistical category last year, and that had to be because of the injuries to Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Now you added a guy like Quentin Johnston from the NFL draft. Chargers haven't really had a true, slot presence like a Quentin Johnston, that we've seen. And I think we should be seeing Quentin. We could see Keenan move back in the slot more with Johnston on the outside, but I think Johnston, the way that his run after the catch ability is, I would not be shocked to see him in the slot a little bit more this year as well, which could also remove target share from an Austin Ekeler in this offense. As long as they're healthy, that target share should definitely go down, which means his receptions will likely go down. It's very difficult to say at this point. They want to be more rounded, more balanced in this offense, and I mean, adding a Quentin Johnston is definitely one of these guys that's going to help the cause in that. Not much in running back depth, so this is a big positive for an Austin Ekeler. Isaiah Spiller is really the only guy chomping at the bit and, running behind his ankles right now to try to get some more playing time. I'm still a supporter of Isaiah Spiller. I think he is a very good running back and could basically mimic almost everything that Austin Ekeler does. Very similar skill sets in both these running backs. You see the rank for Austin Ekeler, running back number 1 last year. I mean, but I got to say, elite stat regression is definitely pegged right now. Will he still finish as a top 5 running back in the NFL and fantasy football? You can definitely make the case. So you can warrant him as your number 1 overall pick in NFL or fantasy drafts in redraft. But you got to believe that the statistical regression is coming because he hit all these career highs, and now you got more added weapons and potential health, staying healthy for these wide receivers in LA is going to tell a big giant tale. 76.4% was his boom consistency rate. Very good, very solid. He started slow out the gates as well. Everyone was dogging him, and then he again, injuries came to play, and then he took over basically the lion's share of the workload in this offense. So 76.4 is definitely a very good consistency rate for an Austin Ekeler. Last one I got is Jonathan Taylor, JT. And everybody's sour on JT after being last year's consensus number 1 pick in fantasy drafts. This year he is number 4. And I mean, it's warranted. He got injured. What do you want from the man? This guy is a workhorse back, and we'll start there. Lost season, obviously, last year. I mean, to the injury, only played in 12 contests. Is he overworked? That is the biggest thing. You know, coming out of college, I scouted JT, and I was infatuated with his game. The one biggest glaring issue I had was with how many carries he had in his collegiate career. 926 carries this man saw with Wisconsin. He comes in the NFL, and within the last 6 years, he's hauled the ball in 1,682 times, man. What do you want from the guy? You're telling me that anybody's body is not going to break down after that much workload? 1,682 carries. That goes back to his college days as well and his 3 years in the pros. So you can see the body was about to break down. It did last year. Is this going to be a sign of things to come? I don't think so. It was one of those situations where his body just couldn't cut it for the season. Now he should be rested and healthy, and he's got a new offense to deal with, and we love it. Because Matt Ryan just wasn't the guy. The whole offense basically was on JT's shoulders this past year. Now you got Anthony Richardson, draft pick from this year's NFL draft. And if you guys follow any part of the draft right now, you know Anthony Richardson is an unbelievable athletic freak. He's got rushing upside for days. And what does this remind me of? When Lamar Jackson took over for the Baltimore Ravens. We could legit see these Indianapolis Colts run for 550, 600 carries this season as a team. And JT is going to be a big part of that. Now with Anthony Richardson behind center, you're going to be able to operate with the RPOs with Jonathan Taylor. That is a scary, scary sight, I mean, for opposing defenses, and you know that they're going to utilize that extremely well. Anthony Richardson's rushing upside will also aid in the ability for these defenses to now have to cover 11 men on this offensive side, not just 10, because Matt Ryan, we know, was a statue, Phillip Rivers statue. These guys were offering no offensive punch from the quarterback position in the run game. Now we see it. More reception upside. Do we see more coming to a Jonathan Taylor? No more Naheem Hines. You got Zach Moss. I wouldn't be shocked, especially with an Anthony Richardson who is a raw talent and is going to have to improve. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. Who's going to have to improve his passing aptitude, Anthony Richardson. Could we see the checkdowns more often than not to the running back and tight end, the safety blanket, the slot receiver? They got a Josh Downs now. They added an Isaiah McKenzie, slot weapons. Excuse me, my apologies. They are slot weapons that will be the check down opportunity for an Anthony Richardson. Could we see Jonathan Taylor sprinkled in a little bit more? Not much receptions last year in 12 games, only 28 catches. We fully expect that. I fully expect that to go up this year as well. Anthony Richardson, as he continues to grow, is going to be the storyline. Like Lamar Jackson, who was more raw, better running quarterback early on in his career, we're going to probably see the exact same situation here with an Anthony Richardson if he does start week one. No kidding about that. I see a lot of upside in this run game. Like I said, healthy and rested is a Jonathan Taylor. His stats were extremely meek. He only played 12 games, finished as the RB34, 132 points. He basically crippled anybody who picked him number one overall. So everyone that did pick him, I know y'all are sour on the man. Stay with me. We got to go back to the boom consistency rate of 2021 because I think it's unfair to give him that rate of this past season, which was injury concern. 88.2. He matched Christian McCaffrey this season when it came to a consistency rate from the year before. And if we're talking about the season that he did hit in 2021, he would have beat out every single running back on this list. He was over 350 half PPR points in fantasy football. JT is still that guy. We gotta believe it. Do not feel scared to draft a Jonathan Taylor. It was a one-off, and you know he's gonna come back like the blazes of hell. So for me, as we sit today, I'm going Jonathan Taylor. This could change, okay? We're early in May, but as we sit, I love all these talents, man. I love McCaffrey, love JJ, love some Austin Ekeler, but right now, as we sit today, a running back in an offense that is going to be extremely high volume in running upside with a rushing quarterback that is has raw tendencies, I should say, as a passer. We're going to see so much running upside. Like I said, it's like the Baltimore Ravens when they ran the ball 596 times. We're going to see this in Indianapolis this year, and I'm talking path to volume is going to be all over the charts. So let's go Jonathan Taylor as we sit in early May. I may change this opinion, but I like it right now as we sit in early May. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. Who's your number one overall pick in redraft leagues this year as we sit today? Throw them in the comments. Let's have a nice, healthy debate. But nevertheless, we'll see you next time. I am out.